What would you consider your bread and butter, or is it just a bunch of different demographics or types of like people come into your property?
Yeah, all of our midterms are out of state. So my family lives in Iowa. I'm in Colorado. We just really like that market. So, and they're kind of like running the boots on the ground stuff anyway. So we chose out there. We're really close to the university that also has a big hospital.
Yeah.
So we get grad students, we get interns, we do get a lot of nurses and medical professionals, but we're kind of trying to make like a pyramid. Like we have the most of studio and 1 beds. Then we have some 2 beds. Then
Okay.
we have 1 3-bed right now. And then we're just going to try to keep expanding that pyramid. From a strategic standpoint, I really like the idea of like, I call that bottom layer kind of like my sponge. So I'm like, okay, if I have some of the larger properties that have a higher carrying cost, if they're vacant,
Mhm.
the sponge, like those ones are really consistently full. Like I bet I have a 98% occupancy rate there. Pulling that number out of thin air, I am not calculated it. Um, but I'm like, they can absorb some of those vacancies, right? And it doesn't feel like as much of a hit. But I really like the larger properties too. So we're kind of trying to carry that. I love the studios because they're really easy to manage, but I also love the larger properties because you get a little bit more bang for your buck.
Right.
And just like everything stretches further, right? Like like one tenant really would probably mean 2 to 3 people
Yeah.
or a family, and then you're serving them higher, so you're getting, everything's higher. Yes, my costs are higher, but my rental income is also higher. My appreciation is higher. Everything is higher.
Totally.
So they still feel like they're getting a really good place to stay at a good value, and I feel really good about the investment front of it.
Totally. Do you have any like duplexes, triplexes, or yeah, I know you
Like
mentioned like
what?
studios,
I
one,
just
but
read
are
Eller's.
those
I don't have any yet. We have a mix of kind of arbitrage and ownership. We've used arbitrage to keep the snowball moving, if you will, while we're like getting the capital for more ownership and just finding the right properties. And I've used arbitrage as a way to kind of like test the waters. Like if we're going to go to a new city or a new market, I'm going to arbitrage one first
yeah.
because I want, like I said, like I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
Right. But we have one of our properties is a townhouse that I love. One is a condo. I would love to have a duplex or triplex. There just aren't as many where the markets that we're in. But I actually really like the properties with an HOA if the HOA is reasonable.
Okay.
The HOAs I like are the ones with like 4 pages of bylaws and not 150.
Yeah.
And they're usually the bylaws like from 1975 and they haven't changed. And like really their main rule is like don't be a jerk. But they take care of the lawn and the snow removal, and if the roof needs replacing, they'll handle all that. So from a management standpoint, it takes a lot off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Um, so I've actually kind of fallen in love with good HOAs.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like that's probably pretty untapped too. Cause I'll like what probably
Yeah.
me, I'll do searches and I'll say no HOAs, period. Because
Yeah. See, I'm like the 2 of mine that have HOAs, like the bylaws, I literally don't think they've been touched since the 70s. Like I got sent the documents and I'm like, oh, these were for sure made on a typewriter.
wow. That's great.
Like, and so I'm like, well, if that's your standard, like, great, take care of the lawn for me.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think you have to take those kind of on a one-off basis.
Totally. Totally. And I know you mentioned you have some properties in Denver. We'll have to talk after this because so my girlfriend, she's in grad school. This
Okay.
goes back into FurnaceFinder too, because so she's in grad school, she's studying physical therapy. So she
Oh,
has like
nice.
3 rotations in 3 different cities that we need to find housing in. And so I'm like, all right, well, I know what to do in these situations. You go to
Yeah.
FurnaceFinder and
Yeah, you do.
right? So we started looking. Well, the first one we're staying in our apartment that we're in now, so we didn't have to do anything for that one. The second one, we actually ended up going with an Airbnb because they're just, and this is why I like it on the investing side.
Yeah.
The competition is for number one. The competition in a lot of cities I've seen are super low. People just aren't.
Mhm.
I call like professional hosts doing it right,
Right.
and then also
Right.
to the whole thing with these hosts who want to do midterm rental deep down, but they're too scared to have their calendar open. So they just take short
Right.
stays months and months in advance. It kind of creates that thing where there's not that much supply in a lot of these markets, which again, for an investor like me, I love it because it's just great. But anyway, so we're looking for a place now in Denver. So we'll have to talk later, see if our locations.
Yeah.
But yesterday she had like a couple of her classmates together and they were all talking about, yeah, we're looking at this thing called FurnaceFinder to find a place to stay. And none of them know what to do, but it was just sweet. Just hearing it kind of come full circle and being on like that side of it rather than your side.
Yeah, it's funny when you're like in something all day, every day. It's like, how do you not know about this? How are you even like, I'll talk to other real estate investors or even like agents. And I'm like, you haven't heard of this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it's bizarre because, we're in it all day, every day. And I'm like, how are you not aware? But there is still so much awareness growing for the platform and also for just midterm rentals in general. And you're right. Like there's a lot of people who are kind of dipping their toe in, but really to find out if you're going to be successful as a landlord, like you've got to make space on your calendar and it's different, right? Like you have to be on there and you need to be replying to messages and you need to reach out to leads. Like you're never just going to wake up and have like, oh, you have a booking, right? And that's intentional. And that's set up for everybody. Like it's set up just as much for the tenants as it is for the landlords, but it's like they're not going to be there for 5 days. Just like you and your girlfriend traveling, you don't want to just get stuck with someone who might be not a good fit for you, right? Like you want to have that conversation.
Totally.
So it's just it's an adaptation, but it's growing on the supply and the demand side, and that to me is really encouraging because it's not just like, oh, this thing is going to get flooded and it's going to be so competitive. It's like no, and we've been really conscious of that at FurnaceFinder too. Like we're ensuring that like it becomes a healthy marketplace and that we teach people how to use it on both sides and that it does, keep doing what it's been doing so well.